This stage is nice, man.
Come down in a hurry, didn't you?
It sure did. I didn't think I was out in the heavy, but I'm a heavyweight.
Hope Doug's eyes went right up. Looked like that kid on there on the internet where he had a 600 horsepower engine. We'll place the table underneath it so it's square.
Yeah.
Alrighty, welcome back. I'm your man Bad Chad, and Queen Jolene's on the camera. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make motor mounts for the 351 Windsor out of scrap metal. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to be putting this engine in the Thunderbird. I'm going to stick with it because if I don't stick with it, I won't get the engine in it, and it won't go forward. To move on to something else right this second is not where I want to be, because in order for us to do anything to the 46 or 47, we have to have it looked at and see what we have to do to get it certified. So there's no sense going there. We're not going to go there for now. This is what we're going to do. I've got Doug out today. He's here today helping me out. He's tearing the trailer apart. Everybody's always saying, why are we using a U-Haul? Well, because we get to get the insurance on it. The trailer's haul nice, and we did not have everything rocking and rolling on that one there. So now we're going to get it rocking and rolling. We're going to try to get some stuff done on it to make it so we can use it. Basically, we're just going to go over it and try to fix it up a little bit better, and Doug's helping me. We got the thing off the, if the sound's bad, it's not Jolene's fault, it's because of the wind. We got the thing off of the chassis. That went pretty good. We put it on the hoist, lifted it up. Jolene maybe will show some stuff on Facebook. I'm not sure if you want to see it, us trying to get the frame off. It was just kind of, everything about it has been trying, but I really like the body on this thing. I can't wait to make some panels and make a floor. We're going to look for a chassis. I think we know where one is, a chassis and an engine that we can set it down on. And you can see all of the bead roller work that can be done inside this truck. I think it would be fairly easy to do. And but we got it off. That's the thing. We got that done. But what I'm going to do right this present moment is I'm going to make some motor mounts for the 351 so we can apply it to the Thunderbird. I have a 4-speed overdrive transmission out of a truck. That's what it come out of. I got the exact same transmission in A Way to Heaven. And it works perfect. It's behind a 302 high output. I can burn that thing up the road, 3 gears, no problem whatsoever. It works good. So that transmission, I know they work good, they shift fast, everything's great. But the shifter, I have a problem with that shifter where it's so close to the bell housing. We're gonna have to do something with that. And this is what I'm going to do with the motor mounts. I thank everybody for coming back and all the great comments. We appreciate it. We're going to move on. We're in our happy place, back in the shop. But this is what's going on. You can buy these mounts at Speedway Motors fairly reasonable. Like, they're really reasonable. Basically, I'm thinking that they set up a jig. They bend a bunch of these. They got a jig, and they make these just a round stock with some flat bar, and then they weld them on. And basically what happens is that this would go underneath of the engine. I showed you we have, that would go underneath. That doesn't fit that one, obviously. Maybe we'll turn it around. Okay, now it'll fit, no doubt in my mind. So that goes in there like that. You would bolt that in there, and you would have a motor mount. There's your motor mounts, and this would be your cross member for your motor mounts. I'm going to take you over and show you the car now. We're not going to apply this piece, but I'm going to keep this piece because there will be another Ford engine going in something that is made for a small block. If we come over to the Thunderbird, we can see that it has more or less the same setup. It has that round bar going across the front end with the mounts in it. Jolene's doing an excellent job filming this, as she always does. She looks amazing today. I see Doug's got the box off the trailer. He's been wrestling that thing for the last half hour, and there's a few choice words he's been saying, but he's got it off. Look at that, would you? Look at him go. But we got that round stock going there. So what I'm thinking is we'll cut the mount off that round stock, and then we'll apply our own mount that we're going to make out of scrap metal. So what has happened here is I've gone out and got markers in the same pocket that I have. I went out and got some scrap metal out in the scrap pile. You can see where it's rusty. These were hairpins out of a build of some sort. And you can see we got the hole. We got, actually it's a little better than what they got going on here. It's a little thicker. I say better, but it's a little thicker. And I'm just going to do this. Make it the same length. To be honest with you, it's easier to do this. We get one there, and then I'll cut another one. So, if you got scrap or anything laying around, you can do just about anything if you can find the right scrap pieces. Not put the power on. We need two of them. We've got one mount on each side. Beautiful. Not as beautiful as Jolene, but beautiful. Good. Take that there. We can get a flapper wheel and just clean those off a little bit. Just clean them up a little bit, which will make me happy. Watch yourself, sweetheart, backing up. Doug, you'll blow away with that piece of plywood in your hands. Pair of gloves right there. So what we'll do is I'll make the mounts. We'll put bolts through there and apply them, the mounts I make. And then we'll apply the transmission to the motor. And then we'll try to get it set down in there. And then we'll know what shape they're going to have to be in after I make them. So you have to make them first, obviously. Want to take the sharp edges off. don't know if a lot of people know it or not, but Nova Scotia is having a couple wildfires right now. I'm not sure if they call it a state emergency or not. But state emergency really means it really is serious, I guess. Or Halifax is burning, Shelburne's burning. It's a beautiful day here in Nova Scotia, but not so beautiful for some. Also, when you think you're having that bad day, you'll have to compare it to what? Your house burning down? You know what I mean? It's quite something, actually, that's happening here right now. And I want to throw my thoughts and condolences out to the people that are being affected, because it's quite something. Probably quite devastating. I would hate for my house to burn down, or anything, the garage to burn down. I guess, what's his name there? Half-assed. His garage just burnt down. Like that'd be so devastating. And but Nova Scotia's on fire right now, and my prayers are with them. Just gonna actually, what's going on there? I've got two pieces of plate right here. They are in the shape of the round stock. I do not know when I put the engine in. I don't know what the flat stock, or what I'm going to have to cut it to make it sit in there properly. So this is my plan. This is an old piece of plate off of a lowering or a lifting kit that I used on the Bugatti. There was I bought some airbags for the Bugatti. It was a kit for an air ride for a helper in the back of a Dodge truck, I think it is. And this is one of the pieces that I kept because it was, it's a nice piece of plate. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut two square pieces. I'm not going to cut any round shape out of it yet until I apply the engine and the transmission in the car and see what's going on before I cut it. So basically I'm just going to weld this square piece, one square piece to my round stock, and then the other square piece to my round stock, and then we'll apply them in the car and we'll go from there. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just looking at it right now and halving it up. Half to one side and half to the other. So I just use that there and that there, and we'll cut this section out. We'll cut it down here and cut it down there, and then we'll make some motor mounts out of scrap metal, which you can do the exact same. Also, with the Ford that we have, it would be kind of foolish for me to tear that car apart right at the present moment and get into that. I know everybody was maybe interested in it, maybe not interested. I have no idea. But what I'm going to say is it'd be kind of foolish for me to tear that apart and not be able to move it and drive it and that sort of stuff, a little bit of time that we have for summer. But I have to get that mechanical fitness done before, when we put in our name, we have to have that done. So I want to get that stuff done first before I start tearing it apart. But as soon as we get that done, we might take a fender off it and do it one fender at a time and do it as quick as possible and see how that goes. We might, and we might not. See how it goes. Look, Doug's sweeping and everything. I love it. I'm going to leave that on there. The reason I'm going to leave that, I'm just leaving that little stick on there because it holds it up in the air. It's not falling down the ground. If I cut it right off, then it's going to fall down the ground. Then I'm not going to be able to cut it. So I'm going to leave it on there for a second. Got some really nice thick plate, just what they have there. I wouldn't want to go any thinner. If I feel this is not good enough, just a straight piece up, weld it to the round stock that we have in the car going down like that, then we can throw a gusset on it. And a gusset is generally what I think is a triangle. A triangle. It's nice to be able to have the doors open, work outside, work inside. Beautiful, beautiful. What I'm going to do is, where I have that little notch out there, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to angle that down and weld that to this. And the reason being is I can fill that hole full of weld for, I didn't even measure that, and that fit that perfectly. But yeah, it's going good. I'm just going to angle this off. What I mean is, I got a little hole there, and what I meant by that, if I weld that on there, and I got a hole in there, that means a lot more weld will sit in that hole, which will give me better penetration. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to angle the top off. I'll show you. Make the metal a little thinner, so when I weld that on there, I'm hoping for better penetration. I will get better penetration because there's more room for the weld. Let's do it. Let's do it. A bit of grinder work going on. I apologize, but without the grinder, I probably wouldn't get half the stuff done that I wanted to get done, that's for sure. Without the grinder. Leave that like that. We'll turn the gas on. We're on D. Jeez, I don't know how we got to D, but we are. I used to get a lot of D's in school, but I've never set the welder for a D yet, but it's there. I'm going to actually want to make this as easy as possible. I do. I know what everybody's hollering. Magnets. Haha. Magnets. Not sure if that'll hold it on there for me or not. Hard thing to do with a magnet on an angle. I'm just going to eye it up like I always do. And that's what I'm going to do. Just going to eye it up, tack it in place, and then I can nail it on in place when I'm ready. Some of this body work and stuff that I'm doing is the matter of being able to hold something. Just trying to center the hole. Being able to hold something and weld it. That's, you know, a lot of it is being able to do that. Just like holding your telephone. I can't hold Jolene's telephone worth a piss. Yeah. But I have practiced this business long enough that I can hold things and weld it. Not bad anyways. I am going to burn it all straight, all the way across. The reason being is I want lots of penetration on this. So I'm just going to go for it. I'm noticing something right now, that black paint don't weld that good. That black paint does not weld that good. And what I'm going to do, you can see how the weld on that side went into that hole. I'm going to just grab the grinder behind you, knock some black paint off. Watch yourself through here. Must be a powder coat of some sort. Now, if you can picture it, basically the exact same thing that what's on that round stock that goes up inside that mount, exact same thing. And when I apply this piece to the mount, when we apply it in, then we'll make our cutout for our round stock in our car where it needs to be. If we don't like that it's standing up too high or down too low or wherever it's that not good, we'll gusset it from the front or the back to make it stronger. I know that that black doesn't weld that good, so let's buff it off a little bit. When they go to get new mounts for this car, the part number is 578. Now that's not going to be the case. Just going to do the exact same thing I did last time. Just going to eye it up, pluck it on there, and say it's okay, and be happy with it. Beautiful. Not as beautiful as Jolene, but beautiful. Oh, I want to throw a shout out to Sussex Engine, is it called? What was his name? Jeff? Jeff something, I think. Sussex engine in Sussex. We pulled in there and went to a room, and we were invited down to their shop. They were dyno testing an engine and all that stuff, and we did not make it. And the reason being was I was exhausted, just kind of exhausted. And but I want to throw them a shout out. Next time we're in, I'm not exhausted. I'm coming in. Believe me. This one's cleaned up, so we should have a better start. Wire speed could be a little bit faster, probably. I'm thinking. Turn that bad boy over. Now you can see where the weld is exactly on the other side, how it went through the hole there. So it shows us lots of, lots of penetration when I welded on that side. Awesome. Alrighty, just like that, we have 2 mounts from scrap metal. Didn't cost me anything, actually. I went out and got it. They were from parts from before that we used, but now that I kept it, scrap metal. Now they're probably pretty hot right at the present moment, no doubt in my mind. Yeah, it's hot. Wow, that's hot. These gloves are thin too, but basically that'll go up in there. That piece there will go down on top of the round piece, and we'll cut it out the shape it's going to be for it to work. With the transmission, I'm not sure if the transmission is going to fit the hole or not. If it doesn't, you know what we do is we cut it open and make it bigger. But the shifter, let's go back and take a look. I think I marked it even. Nope. This shifter coming through the transmission, there's a piece of tape on the tunnel up front. That shifter is going to come through right about there somewhere, and that's not going to be no good to me because the shifter is going to be underneath the dash and you never be able to get it out. So what's going to happen, and the reason it's going to happen is because I don't feel like spending money on another transmission when I've got that one. We bought a car and he gave that transmission to me. The flywheel, the clutch, the pressure plate, the throw bearing, he gave that to me. And I took it because I thought I would use it, and I want to use it. So when it comes time to put this in, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to modify this shifter. You can see where the shifter bolts onto the top here. I hope I'm going to be able to modify that shifter so I can bring it back, and then up. I'm not sure if it's going to throw I'm not sure if it's going to make the throw of it worse or bad or anything like that. I'm not sure of that yet, but that's what I'm hoping I can do. I can make that shifter come back and then come up and bring it out the hole where I want it to come out, because the transmission is a good transmission as far as I'm concerned. I have everything to do it. This one has got a hydraulic throw-out bearing. From what I understand, the Mustang ones have a cable shift, a cabled clutch, and basically I don't have the Mustang transmission, so I'm going to try to use what we have. But I have to have the motor mounts to get that set down in there. Now I've got them made, I'm happy. Just going to go outside here and check out and see what Doug's doing. They're riveted on? Okay, well just
Taking some lights out of them right now.
Yeah. So this is the unit where, okay, cool. Some of the stuff, as you rip things apart, some of the stuff you look at and say, you don't understand why. And sometimes, it doesn't matter what you understand, why or not. If it works, it's okay. If it works, it's okay. Like, there's nothing that seems to be...
You want to tear all the wiring off this?
Well, it does need to be torn off, does it not?
I think it does, yes. Wouldn't hurt.
It wouldn't hurt. It's not that good?
It's taped together, fused together in more places than it needs to be.
Okay. And sorry about the wind. There was a brake. It has electric brakes on it, and the electric brakes, I had to snip one of the wires because the electric brakes kept coming on it, and I did not want that, obviously. We have a couple cross members that are sort of made out of tin. Can't have that. We don't want that. We'll line them with something a little different. That's not bad there, I guess, that far apart. This one's made out of tin. This one needs a new cross member for sure. I would say this is 3/16 here. I would say this is probably 14 gauge maybe there, where it's thin like that. So we'll need a couple new cross members. You can see where this one's bent up too, obviously. There's a couple of them that are tin, one back there that's tin. We'll get rid of those. I do not like... Yeah. Well, this piece here, up like this, the ramp on the top of that, I don't like that because the floor, this was higher than the floor. So I'm going to get rid of that and probably apply the ramps down here somewhere. So I'm going to get rid of that. There's going to be a few modifications, but other than that, the trailer seems to be pretty sturdy, you know. This one here's going to have to come out. We don't want that. I'm not sure how I want to plank the floor of it yet. And when I say plank, cover the top floor, I'm not sure if I want to put checker plate down, or if I want to just put flat steel down, or
whatever's cheapest
and works the best.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I'm thinking that we might even just do a 2x10 plank floor on it. And that way there I can screw things down to it. I can rough it up and it'd be easy to replace. Metal is very high right now. Anything's very high right now as far as the price goes. But that's what we're going to do. Or Doug's tearing the fenders off it. We'll strip it right down, tear the wires off it. We'll clean it up, make it into something. And then when I go pick something up, you know, we have a nice clean trailer. Alrighty. That's what's going on. So I've got the two mounts made. Don't have to make anything other than that to apply to the engine. But what I have to do is get the engine picker now, get the transmission put on it. I'm going to end up cleaning the transmission and all that stuff before we put it in, but I'm just going to leave it like that for now because it does not matter if it's clean to mock it up. I have to go around the car and do some things to it. And when I do some things to it, I'll show you. Appreciate it. All right, everybody, thanks for coming back. We really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, come back tomorrow. We'll be here. Continuing on. If you're having a bad day, compared to what?